at the Win City Investors Club. Welcome everybody to another episode of our Tuesday Talk series, the no bullshit, no holds bar investing series, where we bring on investors to talk about everything about real estate investing. Today we have two of my favorite persons at this point of time, Ken Bekendam and Dylan Suitor. Welcome, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Awesome. Listen, if you guys who are following online on Facebook don't know by now, we're putting on this course this weekend, which is going to be teaching you about legal second suites. We're calling it the ADU course, the additional dwelling unit course, but we're going to be focusing on legal second suites. These two guys are our guest speakers. I mean, Ken is the expert educator on this, and we have Dylan, who is a local market expert. So I wanted to bring both of them onto our talk series here, just to shoot some shit and talk about real estate investing in general, talk about legal second suites, because if you're sitting on the fence still about whether to do the course or not, then today is the day to ask the questions and get them answered, okay? So before we dive into that, Ken and Dylan, maybe you want to give us your 20-minute elevator speech, like who you are and what do you do? Dylan, you go first.
Hi, Ken. Take it away.
Want me to go first? Okay, that's fine.
Get 20 minutes, so we'll be done by the time you're over.
Sure. Yeah, so I've been doing this for a while now, pushing 10 years now since I've, started buying my very first investment property. I did grow up in a real estate family, investing family, so it was around, much longer than that, but I got started personally in 2010. That's when it really became real for me. And already back then, I was doing well, actually it wasn't legal back then, but we were doing basement apartments. It hasn't been until the last, 5 years here or so that it's been much easier to do it legally. So this is kind of what's driven my business. It's driven my own personal investing journey, is doing these basement apartments, because it makes sense. It makes sense as a first-time homeowner, like my wife and I were when we first started. That second source of income coming from that basement changed our financial future, changed our path moving forward in life. And this is so many of you guys out there, your investing journey was radically changed, when you got into real estate investing. And these days it's getting so much easier to do it. And it's getting easier and easier. Every year that passes, the province municipalities are changing their bylaws and policies to make it easier for us. So it just makes sense. I ended up doing, I started, my background is in design, in architectural design, and also landscape design. I do cover both fields. And I just started doing drawings for myself. I started doing my own basement drawings for my own personal projects. As I got involved more in the industry, I started networking with more people, coming out to the networking events. And this is when I started telling people, hey, look, I do drawings too. I can help you with your project. I've done a bunch of them myself. I can take care of the renovations for you. And this is kind of how I started and grew my business and focusing in on these legal second suites. So, and obviously with home prices increasing, with, the need to, have more of these units, it's got me very busy doing these drawings for everybody. It's been fantastic, and I've learned so much in the past couple years doing this, and this is why we're going to be sharing this knowledge with you guys, because there's a lot to it. And even now I still don't fully understand it all. I'm still learning every single day. Every time I see a project, I'm learning something new. So this is what we're going to be bringing to the event this weekend, so that you guys can kind of fast track and kind of take advantage of some of that experience. Dylan?
That's a long 20 seconds, man. Wow.
I thought I said 20 minutes.
No, I said 20 seconds.
You said 20 minutes, but it's an elevator pitch.
Did I? Oh my God, that's a long elevator in that case. But I mean, listen, guys, if you guys are listening to this is Ken in a nutshell, right? We tell him to pitch himself and then he talks about you, right, as the one who's receiving. So he's always giving, and I love that about Ken. And Ken, thank you so much, right, for that. Dylan, take it away. Take it away.
That's such a good point. I've had Ken speak at a couple events I've done, and it's like, hey, Ken, here's your hour. An hour and a half goes by. He's still on. I'm like, all right, we have some more stuff to get to, but it's all so valuable. We love it so much. Anyways, my name is Dylan Suitor. I am a real estate agent and investor out of the Halton, Hamilton, and Niagara region. That is the area we mainly cover. I have a team of 16 total, including agents and administrators at this point in time, and we are highly investor focused. So I got into real estate investing when I went to the university, bought my first property as a student rental, and learned about real estate investing right off the hop. So it was right then and there. Learned how not to do it. And then as I started diving in a little further of what real estate investing was all about, I realized that these legal second suites are just an entry-level way to get into the real estate world that you can increase the value of your home substantially. And I'm going to get into some numbers a little bit later on the increase overall, just in some of these key markets. But just one tip is a little kind of cliffhanger here. The Hamilton Mountain, which is where a lot of these 2-unit conversions are done in Hamilton, is up 20.2% over the year, which means that your down payment is basically an equity from a 12-month period. So you could basically have just bought a house and done nothing and refinanced all your equity back out of it over the 12-month period. So we'll dive in a little bit deeper about that. Personally, in October 2018, I started scaling my corporate portfolio with a business partner of mine. And I've added over 350 doors to my portfolio since then. So in just almost 2 years now, we've added over 350 doors and gotten some pretty unique projects, doing a 30-unit apartment building, as well as we're doing 2 semi-detached houses that Ken's working with us on, doing some drawings, being creative on actually digging out the basement and adding some square footage to the top and making it into a legal 8-unit. So real estate investing really can go anywhere you want to take it. And it can be as small or as big as you want it. But my big focus on my big mission as a team is to add value to our team agents as well as to individuals that work with us and replace your active income with a passive income through real estate investing. So that's what we're here to do. We're here to talk about. Love to talk more about it and dive in deep.
Nice, nice, awesome. Good to have you, Dylan, on board over here. And I just want to let the audience know, this is the version 2 of the course that we're actually putting on. We did version 1 in what was it, Ken, in March? Something like that. But it was very much Windsor focused, right? And after that course, with the amount of interest that we had and the good feedback that we had, we said, listen, we got to take this out to the rest of Ontario, right? A lot of people are doing it, of course, in the GTA area. And which better way to do that, than to collaborate with guys like Dylan, who is in the market, feet on the street. He's got a big team out there. He's looking for these kind of properties day in and day out. Right? So the idea is that, listen, if you're coming for the course, even if you're not coming for the course, but you want to do this and you want to do it yourself, we have the team here and we have the resources to get you what you need to make your project successful as fast as possible, right? And that's why we're super happy and super stoked that we got Dylan on board over here to bring that to you guys, right? So he's going to focus on the Hamilton, St. Catharines, Welland, Brantford areas, and we're going to add that to our portfolio of course, Windsor. And who knows, in version 3, maybe we can take it out way, way east. Ottawa. Anybody says Ottawa, Colin? What do you think, Ken?
I got
Ottawa. Yeah, Ottawa's got some great properties out there. And our good friends, Luke and Jess, just moved out there and they're trying to tackle that territory. So yeah, it's definitely a lot of opportunity.
Yep. Okay, guys, so let's get into this. I mean, for those of you who are following live, listen, if you have any questions about legal conversions or about these markets, the areas that we're working in, the rents, for example, I don't know what you might have, prices, so on and so forth. We got the experts in the house. Ken is the legal, of course, the practical knowledge, and then you have Dylan with the market knowledge, right? So, and myself as well. So if you need any questions answered, this is the time. So let's jump into it. Before, let's break the news right now. Guys, if you're following live and you haven't bought your tickets so far, look, the promo ended, what was it, Friday last week? And a lot of people coming back and saying, oh, we missed the promo date. Can we get the promo? Well, here we go. You can get the promo today, right now. So if you're listening to this conversation from 7 o'clock right up to midnight tonight, we're rolling back the promo prices for the early bird special, okay? And what you got to use, here's the promo code. It's roll back. So go to the Eventbrite link. I'm going to put it in the comments below. And if you want to use the promo code roll back, all caps, ROLLBACK, and you're going to get $200 off your ticket. Listen, the prices that we're charging for this knowledge that we're going to bring to you, and the materials that you're going to get after, is just tremendous, right? So it's really not about the money anymore. I think you can hear it from Ken, you hear it from Dylan, you hear it from me. We want to bring this knowledge to you guys so you can be successful investors. At the end of the day, if you go out and do this in our markets, we are benefiting. We're benefiting by default, right? It's not the ticket price that's making us money, but if more people are doing this in our area, we're all benefiting together, right? So promo code rollback, go and get it right now. $200 off your ticket. It'll last only till 12 o'clock midnight. Okay. So guys, once we started marketing this, you know, I've been getting all these different questions, concerns, just a lot of conversation that maybe we were not really clear in our marketing efforts. And I wanted to bring these questions to you guys because, you know, you're part of this and maybe you can answer it better than I can, right? So I'm just going to go through this, not in any particular order, but I got a list of questions here. So I'll let any of you jump onto that, okay? So the first question is basically, yeah, okay, we've been pitching legal second suites up the wazoo, right? Like everywhere we go, we talk about legal second suites. And the most pertinent question, I guess, everybody's asking is, why are these so important in the first place? Like, who cares? Why don't I just go buy a single family home, rent the thing out, and yeah, I'm an investor right now if I do that, right? So why are we pushing legal second suites so hard and fast? Dylan, do you want to start on that one?
Sure, I can touch on a couple of those things. I mean, number one, we have a housing crisis right across Ontario and truthfully almost all of Canada. Right now, we're seeing a vacancy in the areas we're talking about in my areas of under 2% for the most part. And what you're really finding is that people just can't find houses. And in 2017, 2016, we saw housing prices kind of soaring up and up and up. We were concerned. We're like, we can't do these legal suites anymore because the housing prices keep going up so much. The rent prices aren't. Well, then we had a run for 3 years of rental rates going up. And it's like every couple of weeks, all of a sudden you're adding $50 or $100 a unit. I remember we were talking to Ken, we were talking, oh, if we get $3,000 a month for 2 units in Hamilton, like a year and a half, 2 years ago, that was a good thing. Now we're like, hey, you can get $4,000 a month. Like legitimately, you're up 33% on some of these bungalows in Hamilton with 2 units. So there's a huge, huge, huge opportunity there. The other thing is when you look at these single families as a single family home, and you rent it out, a renovated bungalow, you're capped at maybe 22, 24, maybe 2,500 a month plus utilities. But if you can put 2 units in there and now you're renting them at, I don't know, say 17 and 2 or 18 and 22 or something like that, then you can get 2 families that are actually affording a lesser rent. And you're also finding a huge condo wave that we've seen over the last little while that's kind of simmering down a bit. And people are okay with smaller units. They don't need to have a full home. So having a 2 or a 3 bedroom unit where they can use 1 bedroom, they can do a second guest bedroom, and they can do an office is more than enough for this work from home era. Additionally, I would say that what we're finding is that the Toronto hub, a lot of people from Toronto with COVID don't have to be there anymore. A lot of work from home. So what we're seeing is that's scattering elsewhere. So you're seeing it boom all over. You're seeing London, you're seeing Brantford, you're seeing Niagara, we're seeing Fort Erie and Port Colborne even out that all the way down to Niagara now. Windsor's getting it. So people don't have to be in the hub of Toronto anymore. And what they're doing is they're looking for places to go and they're looking for places to live. And so we're finding more affordability by adding a second unit into the suite. So there's just so much demand for these things. We're adding more stock. When we're already at such a minute amount of inventory, we're adding inventory and they're renting out right away. So we're seeing the housing prices are driving up, the rental rates are driving up, everything's going up. We just have a huge opportunity in our hands.
Yeah, no, I love it. I think you touched on all the most valid points over there. And I think when we come to the weekend, basically a lot of people ask you, okay, the numbers are different. You know, Brantford is different from Hamilton, from Windsor, from London, from wherever, right? So one message I want to put out there is the fact that when we meet on the weekend, basically we're going to go into each of these markets and look at those market specifics, right? So you are going to get the prices for the purchase price, for rentals, for rental market in each one of those sub-markets. That'll help you make your decision. So, don't worry about that. But I think Dylan touched on all the major points. Ken, anything to add on that, or should we move on?
Yeah, like obviously with this increase in demand, for these units, like as I said earlier, the province and municipalities are, coming around and they are making changes to their policies to help, further intensify to allow these units. And along with that, right, comes more enforcement as well, right? We are getting a more educated tenant base. As more people move into rentals rather than home ownership, we're getting a very educated tenant profile out there, okay? They're looking for nicer places. They're looking for legal places. Unfortunately, we do live in a legalistic society, and people are very quick to jump to lawyers, right? So having things legal just simplifies your life in so many different ways. You are creating a nice, safe space for your tenant to live in so that you sleep good at night. So you're reducing your exposure to liability. Yes, you can get insurance policies out there that are high enough to kind of cover some of these liability issues. But however, that's only one part of it. We have to be both compliant with municipal rules and provincial rules, right? So some of these fines can be pretty hefty. Now, I'm in this business, obviously, so I do see a lot of order to complies. We are seeing more and more enforcement as we continue to do these apartments. And I've seen a lot of people who've kind of gotten themselves in a bit of a pickle because they've created an illegal unit. And the last thing we need is our tenants to hold us hostage living in an illegal unit, and they stop paying rent because they know that they're in an illegal unit, and they kind of hold you hostage, right? So it's very important to be legal. It does help on the lending side, obviously having more legal income to the property that you can qualify on. Yes, there's different lenders out there who will take into account rents from an illegal unit, but a lot of the big lenders do take into account that legal income, right? So it's very important on refi to have that as legal income. There's lots of...
One more point I would also say on that too is that what we're seeing with appraisers is that they're having such a hard time determining what's legal and what's not legal. So one little tip that we've actually done is we're actually gathering the completed legalized form, and then we actually give that to the appraiser, so we're getting a higher valuation as well. So that is something that you want to keep in mind. The legal units do add the value there too. So you're getting the appraised value. We'll dive deeper into that on Saturday on how we work with our appraisers to ensure that we're getting the numbers we're looking for.
Yeah, no, all valid points. I can speak for on behalf of Windsor. When you talked about cracking down, Ken, like I had a couple of clients just recently call me out of the blue and be like, hey, listen, we've been renting our basement illegally for so long, and it's been cash flowing great, but I got a stop work order, or I got a notice on my door from the city saying that they want to come and check it, they want to come and inspect. And the reason for that is because a couple who was renting it broke up. They had a fight. One of them wanted to stay, the other one didn't want to stay, and they just went and complained to the city and said, listen, this is probably not a legal unit. why don't you come and check it out? Now, this investor who was enjoying this great cash flow for so many years suddenly has to put upwards of $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 to go and retrofit this basement unit and make it legal now. And he's like, what do I do? And I was like, yeah, shell out the money, start writing checks, brother. Because, that's all you can do, right? And I might have an opportunity to buy this thing off him now because he doesn't want anything to do with it, right? So I think it's super, super important in Windsor, and we can talk about the other markets as well, Dylan, but they are cracking down for sure. As they make it easier, they want people to, pretty much say, okay, we'll make it easy for you. Why don't you go and do it the right way, right? So very, very important. Appraisals is another big thing. I mean, of course, I think that's to answer one of the questions that I keep getting asked, like, why don't I just go and rent my basement out by itself, by how it is right now, not being legal, right? I think, Ken, you started touching on that. I don't know if you want to add anything more on that, but appraisals is definitely an issue, right? You want to have it legal so you can go to the bank and say, listen, I got 2 rental incomes and not just 1. Absolutely.
Yeah, like the problem, what happens is that people get themselves in trouble because they don't know ahead of time the requirements. So sometimes people have gone in and they've purchased sorry, I got to fly here. They've gone in and they've purchased a property with an illegal unit, not knowing the difference. And then all of a sudden they get this order to comply posted on the door. And now they're into a situation where now they got to fork out thousands and thousands of dollars to repair this unit. If they would have known the requirements ahead of time when they gone in to look at that property, they could have maybe negotiated something off the purchase price, knowing that the unit was illegal and that it would need, 10, 20, 30,000 or more in retrofits to legalize it. I see it a lot with contractors too, who don't know as well. And they go in and they start a renovation without a permit. They start slapping in a basement. Again, they got to order the comply post on the door, and now they got to go back and undo half the renovation to try and legalize it. So it just saves a lot of headache up front. If you go out and the requirements, you can buy the right property that can be legalized in the right zone. And you do end up saving yourself money in the end by just starting the whole process on the right track. And so many people are so far down the line on the wrong path that when it's time to course correct, it becomes a costly endeavor for them. So part of this education is to prepare you guys so that you don't make these, what are to me and Dylan and Sav, these are simple mistakes that people make that end up costing them a lot of money.
Yeah, no, love it.
And really, I've started this off my introduction by saying I've invested in the wrong thing a number of times. I've done a number of the wrong investments. And as a new investor, this is the perfect opportunity to learn how to invest into something that has multiple different exits, that is in high demand, that has positive cash flow. You get a lot of your capital out. There's so many things you can do with this and other investment properties that you may not be able to get. So it's a really good way to get your feet wet in investing and find out if it's for you.
I wasn't so stupid. And I don't mean that in a bad way, Dylan. Because I'll tell you what, I was coming out of Oakville and I moved to Windsor, right? And everything in the GTA is about legal second suite conversions. And I said to myself, I don't know jack about it, really, right? I have no idea about it. I know flipping, I know some construction, but I don't know the code. So who do I call? I call Ken. I said, Ken, come and teach us, right? Come to my group and teach us. So I went directly to the source of somebody who knew what they were doing. And now I have in my portfolio, I have 5 of these, and it's the safest bet you can possibly make in real estate investing. Guys, I'm saying it all the time. You have 2 experts who are doing this. Ken, how many have you done so far? Just out of curiosity.
Well, this year, if things keep going where they're going, we're gonna be close to 120 projects this year. So that's like permit work. There's some renovations in there as well. We're gonna be put close to 30 renos this year on actual houses renovating. Like myself, I've done over a dozen of them between myself and my family, like my dad and my brothers and stuff. Like we've done easily 12 of them, if not more, ourselves personally. So yeah, I've seen a lot of different types of houses. Like I've seen these 2.5-story centuries, these 1.5-story, the bungalows, these 3-4 unit buildings, even larger stuff. So
yeah, so we're talking to the right people. Ken's done over 100. Dylan has, what do you say, Dylan, 300 doors in the last 2 years?
Over 350 doors in the last 2 years. But outside of that, we do a lot of other type of investing as well, my business partner and I. But really what my focus of the team has been on, last year we sold 68 houses and 45 of them were legal suites. And I'd say probably 40 of them, Ken was the one doing the drawing. So this is something we do with a lot of investors. We take a lot of investors through it step by step. And when working with our team, you're not just getting someone who's going to sell you a house and leave. I've already checked with Ken to make sure it can be done from the zoning maps. We already know the different details we're going to go into on the weekend on what you have to look for. We already do that. We walk you through, we teach it to you. We give you Ken's book when you're walking through the home. And by the end of it, when you're doing these street tours with us, you're the one actually telling us whether it's legal or not. So we're teaching you how to do it. And then we're also connecting you to our entire team. So you're going to get everyone from mortgage to lawyer to appraiser to contractor. So it's really a done for you process. And our investors come back and rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And the benefit with the market going up the way it is, and I can share numbers anytime you want, is that when you rinse and repeat, the values you initially planned on getting has actually gone up right now. And we're seeing up to maybe 20%. So you're even getting a better return every time.
let's jump into that shortly. I just want to go to the Facebook Live here and see if there's any questions. So my phone is dinging because people are actually buying tickets. That's a great thing. Okay, we have a question here. So I can't pronounce the gentleman or lady's name. Janojan asks, as an investor, what are some of the things we need to keep in mind when looking at a single family home with the hopes of converting it into a duplex? Are some single family homes easier to convert than others? What should we keep in mind for this conversation? Jan, brother, you got to buy the ticket, man. That's what we're going to be talking about this weekend. We can't give you all the story right now. You know, that's exactly what we're going to be educating you on. And that's why you need to be a part of that course. But jokes aside, I don't know, Ken, can we give somebody who's looking at a house right now, they can't wait for the weekend, maybe top three things that they need to know and look for so they can make an offer?
All right, top three things. These are the very first things I look at. One, you got to be in the right zone, okay? Absolutely. Because if you're not in the right zone, you're heading towards a rezoning, which is very expensive, and you don't want to go there. Number two, parking. A lot of these bylaws, these second suite bylaws require parking, right? And we can't change the physical size of the lot, and we can't shrink the house down. So if we don't have the parking space, we're heading towards minor variance. And so you need to be aware of what you're getting yourself into. Number three, and the most important, is ceiling height. Yes, absolutely, making sure that we have the correct ceiling height, because again, it's very costly to raise the house up or to lower the basement floor. So that's it, guys. Zoning, parking, and ceiling height. Those are the top three things. And we'll go into the actual numbers on the weekend.
You guys got a couple of inches on me on ceiling height, I think.
Hey, Dylan, I think your mic is muted.
Yep. I muted it.
Oh, okay.
Cool, love it. So Jan, if you heard that, and if you're making an offer right now, those are the three things that you got to look for. I don't know where you're making this offer, where you are situated, but in the course, we got to go through those three requirements in the different markets. So depending on which market you're actually investing in, you'll know, because you know parking is different, bylaw is different in Windsor than it is in Hamilton, right? So hopefully that'll make your decision as well and make it easy, right? So we're going to go into that detail. Guys, the ticket link is on the comments. If you have any comments or questions, now is the time to ask, right? If you're not coming for the course, we're here to share. So might as well pick our brains. We got two experts, we got me, you know, pick our brains right now and get those questions answered. Let me go back here. Thank you for sharing, Jan. Good luck to you, but good luck to you, man. Hope you get something. Ishan says, power team right here. Hey, Ken, Dylan, and Samuel. Hey, how's it going with Ishan? Good. Yeah, the power of the power team cannot be understated. I think Dylan put that in very well. You know, and that's what we're trying to bring to you, right? So the course is not just information. It's not just practical knowledge. It's to make sure that you're going out on a Monday. If you have a project, you have the resources to actually successfully deliver your project. If you don't have a project and you're looking for one, then you have the resources that's going to help you find the right property and get you that project as soon as possible before you get hit by those 20% prices, as Dylan was talking about, right? Okay, let's get back to the notes that I have here. I can simply rent out my basement. Why do I need to legalize it? I think we did that. Okay, can we talk about numbers? What's the cost and returns of doing one of these? So I don't know, I can do Windsor, but maybe Dylan, you want to do Hamilton or something? What, do you have something on top of your head?
You want me to give you all those numbers right now?
Let's do a quick example. Like what's purchase price? Like what people are, what are you going to buy these things for? How much Ken can give us, like how much are we going to put into it, and what's a refi value?
So I will give you an actual example of a project we just refinanced a couple of weeks ago.
Perfect.
Now this is one of them, and I'm not going to give you all the examples and all the numbers, but I'll start off with it. So the property was purchased for $430,000. Now this was at the beginning of this year, and it was an off-market deal. So this was a really good buy, which, by the way, a little kind of precursor, I actually just signed 2 more bungalows in Hamilton last night that need to be converted, that are off market. And I did do a video a couple of weeks ago that didn't even make it to this weekend. It's already sold over asking. So that one just sold for $535. Renovation started, but that one was.
Whoa. Did I hear you got 2 off market deals that you're bringing this weekend?
I have 2 off-market deals in St. Catharines and 2 off-market deals in Hamilton.
Holy smokes, guys! Let's stop this right now. Let's sign the.
If they make it to the weekend. That's if they make it to the weekend.
It's not gonna make it to the weekend. What's wrong with you, man? Guys, hey, put your Dylan's on Facebook. I don't know if you want to put your number there, Dylan, but those are going before the weekend. If you can hold it off till the weekend, I would love to give that to the guys who bought the ticket. That would be awesome. Sorry.
So you can email info@elevationrealty.ca and you'll get the info that way. So info@elevationrealty.ca, ELEVATION realty.ca. And yeah, so there's 2 in St. Catharines and 2 in Hamilton that I'm more than happy to discuss. So the one deal actually just sold off market. I'll do 2. I'll do 2 quick ones. So the one deal that was purchased at the beginning of the year was purchased at $430,000. The renovation was $100,000. The full reno was $530,000. I put $20,000 in additional closing and carry costs. That project took just under 6 months, and it just refinanced at $711,000. So that client was actually able to get all of her capital back out on that project, and I believe Ken did the drawings, and I believe Ken also did the actual renovation on that one as well, or maybe he quoted it. I can't fully remember which one it was, but that was a really good deal. She was able to get all of her money out.
Quick question, because I get this asked all the time. When that client purchased it at $435,000, put in $100,000, was that all private money? They go straight mortgage? I mean, bank?
So one of the brokers that I work with in Hamilton is known for the ability to scale you up to about 10 properties if you have really good income, somewhere between 5 and 10 properties, where he has a really favorable underwriter at Scotia. And what we do is we get a qualify for a mortgage up front. They end up putting the 20% down. So I would have put what, 90,000 down with your closing costs and carry costs. Need about 110 to close. And then about 100,000 in renos gives you 210. I normally budget 2.25. And then after the finished product, we go back to that same broker who then goes back to Scotia and refinances it and got 80% loan to value at 711 grand. So that would have been, what's that, 560-ish, 565. And so all capital back, including closing costs and carry costs on that property. And she decided to rent it out a little bit lower just because of the whole COVID thing. She was a little nervous. She wanted really good tenants. So she put the upstairs at $19.95 and the lower unit at $16.95. Both of which are plus hydro, and there is a garage that is not being rented right now that could add an additional $200 a month if she decided to rent that to an upper or lower unit.
That's a sweet deal, man. That's a rinse and repeat, pretty much.
And another deal, the one that I took a video in a couple of weeks ago that we shared on the page and tagged you guys in, was actually another property on Hamilton Mountain that we were listing at 5.25. I actually got a bully offer the day after I posted that video, and it ended up selling for $535,000. Now the renovation budget on that one, I had already had it quoted by my construction company. It was $91,000 taxes in. So $535,000 purchase, $91,000 taxes in is $634,000. And we're seeing an appraisal that just happened 2 weeks ago at $711,000. So that one's not a full burr as of today, but if the market continues to do what it's doing, or at least goes up even 5-6%, you're pretty damn close to a full burr.
Yeah. No, there you go, guys. That's the numbers you're talking about in the GTA, right? I mean, in Windsor, of course, it's the same concept. You shave off 100,000 right from the start, right? The rentals are pretty much the same. I think labor and materials are the same pretty much everywhere now. And you're refining this, 500, again, minus 100,000 of what you're seeing in the Hamilton area. The idea is that if you do this, you should get back, 100% of your total investment. So you can go and do this again and again and again, right? And I keep telling my clients is that, listen, if you do 2 of these a year, I mean, you can start off with 1, right? But the moment you hit 1, you just get that thirst, right? It just hits you hard, and you want to do more and more because it's so easy. It is so easy. Once you know what you're doing and you're doing it the right way, you can tweak a lot of things, right? When I started off, I mean, Ken knows my first project, I spent 120 grand. I've dropped that number now to about 80, 85, right? Just because I'm learning as I go along and I'm making those tweaks on things that I know that the code says I need this. That's the minimum requirement. I don't have to go crazy and put in 3 egress windows when I can just have 1, right? So that's the sort of stuff that we'll try and share with you at the course on the weekend. These little tips and tricks where you can shave off money here and there. But the idea is that if you get your investment back, when you get your investment back, you just rinse and repeat, right? Ken, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I just want to, you know, say that we do hear a lot of different numbers out there about cost of renovations. And, you know, as a new investor, you really have to understand what scope of work means on a house. Okay, like every house is a bit different. Every house requires a different scope of work. Yes, we're creating basement apartments, but the house itself could use, you know, need a different scope of work. So yeah, sometimes they're new investors, you know, really have to. Oh, I'm getting some feedback.
Sorry, that was me. Keep going.
You know, sometimes we're seeing the cost of renovations come low. Sometimes they're coming in much higher, still on a 2-unit conversion. That's because of scope of work. You know, we have seen a big increase in construction materials, okay, just in the last month. And some of those prices haven't quite hit the consumer yet, because a lot of sorry, I got the stupid fly here. A lot of the
learn about second suites, Ken.
yeah,
inside info.
You know, a lot of the contractors are still kind of absorbing those cost material increases, but they are coming down the pipeline. It's just a matter of time where, you know, you're going to start seeing that on your quotes and your budgets. Okay. So just like, you have to understand scope of work. You can't just take an arbitrary number like 60,000, 80,000, 90,000, 100,000, you know, and think that the house that you're looking at, that's the renovation budget, because that house could take 150,000, right? And those renovation budgets are out there, you know. Obviously, the more distressed the house, the bigger the renovation budget. So if you're looking at a downtown, you know, 2.5-story century home, and you're putting in a legal second suite, that's not going to be $100,000 renovation if you're doing a full gut and redo on that building, right? That's going to be more than that. So, you know, the examples that we're talking about are kind of these simple bungalows, you know, these 900, 1,000 square foot bungalows that, you know, aren't very big projects. So anyway, those are my 2 thoughts as both an investor and a contractor and a designer. And I do a lot of consulting with different people, is that we are seeing renovation budgets all over the map. Okay. Anywhere from like 50,000 to 150,000. The devil's in the details. Okay. As far as scope of work. So anyways, that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I do want to add a couple of comments on that, Ken. Well, first of all, you know, as if you're a new investor and you're getting into the strategy for the first time, or maybe you know you've done 1 or 2 and you want to fine tune, for sure you're going into that typical perfect duplexable house that we're going to show you what to look for, right? That's the most important thing. You're not getting into the century homes or, you know, I don't know, a semi-detached, you know, backsplit, some kind of confusing layout where you have to, you know, do more than you should be doing, right? We're going to show you.
That property I just told you, the $711,000 refi, was actually a backsplit.
Detached though.
Pardon?
Detached backsplit.
Detached backsplit.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not possible. You know, it just takes, to go back to Ken's point there about the renovation costs, you know, it depends on the investor. What kind of investor are you, right? Are you willing to take that risk and say, okay, I'm going to make this work in this type of property because that's what I want to do? Or, you know, I'm just going to look for this cookie cutter, you know, brick bungalow that's very simple, very easy. I know what I'm getting into, and this is the general idea, right? And that's one of the things that we're going to teach you in the course. Like, listen, before you even make an offer, what are the things that you should be looking for? What's the house that you should be looking for? You know, the top 3 things, as Ken mentioned as well before you even put in the offer, the neighborhoods that you should be focusing on, because some neighborhoods, this thing just doesn't work, right? If you want to go downtown Hamilton, for example, I don't know, Dylan, maybe you want to correct me on this, but you're probably not going to get the ceiling heights, or it's tougher, much tougher than if you're in a bungalow in the Hamilton Mountain, right?
We're spending $40,000 to take out the basement. So that's the kind of thing you're going to be doing. It's a much bigger insurance policy. There's all kinds of issues that can go on with it. So it's doable, but it's not like we're talking about an entry-level investment strategy right now that you can get into, that's relatively safe, that you don't bump into a whole lot of surprises.
Yeah, There you go. And then the other thing I wanted to put in when it comes to scope, right, is basically as part of this course, this is what you're getting. You're getting Ken and me, you know, to hold your hand when it comes to that, right? Now, as any investor, when you get into renovating, your personal emotion comes into play, right? Because you like, I don't know, the granite countertops, or you like the IKEA kitchen, or you like, you know, the 5.25-inch baseboard versus, you know, just 2-inch baseboard or whatever. There are things that are required by code, and then there are nice to haves. And this is one of the things that you're going to get from this course, you know, where hopefully you'll make the decision to say, okay, let's do what's required by code, at least in my first few projects, get this up and running, get used to it before you can put in your own personalization, you know, on that beautiful backsplash that, you know, you like, but a renter doesn't really care about, right? So that's the kind of tips and tricks that we're going to give you the course. And even after, right? So when you come up with a project and you say, okay, this is my scope of work, guys, do I really need to do this? We got to take a look at that and say, no, you don't need to have, I don't know, 5 egress windows when you can get away with 1. And that's the beauty of, you know, going through this course, because you can brainstorm and you can get feedback from Ken and I on your project and your scope and your design. Okay. The links in the comments, people are asking some questions. So Nagesh says, hey guys, very much interested in joining this. Wondering if the event will be recorded, as I will be missing a part of the event on Saturday, and the recording provided for the people who buy the tickets. Phil has already responded. Phil's part of Dylan's team here, saying that yes, the recording will be provided for those who purchase tickets. I can confirm that. That's a question that I get asked a lot, right? Is the whole thing recorded for the 2 days? Yes, for the 2 days, they are. It's going to be recorded. We're going to have a website where you, as the ticket purchaser, will have exclusive access to that recording for its lifetime, pretty much. There's a whole bunch of other gifts that we're going to give out at the event. I'm not going to go and burst that bubble right now. For those of you who bought tickets, you are going to get a bunch of gifts, okay? Which really leads me to my last point. I mean, people are asking, you know, there was some smart asses online that asked, and maybe you guys have the answer, right? So they say, okay, but all this information is free. I can get it online. Why can't I just go online and find it, right? And instead of buying a ticket and paying for this knowledge. Who wants to attack that first?
Sure, I'll attack that first.
Yeah.
So, guys, look, I've been in the thick of this legal conversion business for 2 solid years, okay? There is so much nuances out there, and that building code binders you see behind me, okay, right there, those are 2 big fat binders. There's a lot of information in there. Sure, the building code is online, you can Google it, right? But like, it's very difficult sometimes to understand what's in that book and how that applies to your particular property. Yes, the bylaws are all online. You can download every city bylaw, but there's a lot of wording in those bylaws, and how those bylaws pertain to your particular situation can be very confusing sometimes. And so, yes, all of this information is out there. It is free, although you have to buy the building code binders, but it is out there, it's free. But every property is different, every house is different. How those rules apply to your particular property, to get that knowledge and information quickly in order to make a decision on a purchase in a very competitive environment that we're in, you need to have that knowledge in the back of your head. And sure, you can take years, like I have, to learn that information, or you could spend a weekend with us and basically learn the basics of what you need to know, and have a much more certainty when you go into a purchase, that you know what you're getting yourself into, and that you're not gonna make a bloody mistake like we've seen a lot of other investors do. So, you know, so those are my 2 thoughts. There's a lot of information, guys. I'm still learning this stuff, okay? There's so much to learn about this business. And takes years sometimes to learn this stuff. So Dylan, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I'll be real matter of fact. Truthfully, I mean, I got into real estate investing. I told you I scaled 350 plus doors in 2 years. It was 3 years of the under the iceberg. I spend 6 figures annually on education. And the only reason that the people that I work with that are in my world is because I know that they're true, they're tried, they're tested, and they're good at what they do. At the end of the day, you can spend $500, or I'm thinking you're even giving the discount for $200 to get on this. To be on this and to be serious about it. If you don't spend anything, you probably won't check in. You'll just check out completely. So you get a couple $100 investment, you buy into it, you make a $500 or $200 investment, whatever the cost is much better than a $50,000 loss. And you would be shocked at how many times I get the phone call asking for people to get dug out of the problem or trying to deal with their unit that can't be converted because they have the wrong power team around them. And really, guys, the people that are good at this are busy. And if you get someone who's willing to just give you all their time and all their energy and constantly run around without actually charging anything in some way, shape, or form, and I get my commission when I sell a house, but I ensure when I work with someone, they're on a buyer representation agreement. And the reason for that is I don't have time to go around and show everyone everything. I want to find serious buyers that want to scale their portfolio and replace their active income with a passive income. So if I can say one thing, if you don't join now, you don't jump in on this, I recommend you do, but if you don't, you need to invest in yourself first before the world of real estate investing takes you out.
Love it, love it, love it. You know, you just took away my speech because I just want to drop the mic right now. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't want to spend on yourself, I don't want you in this course in the first place. That's it. End of discussion. End of discussion. We're not here to sell you nothing, right? We are here to provide you information that's going to take you to your financial freedom faster, quicker than any way possible out there. So if you don't want to spend the $299, thank you very much. I'll see you on the next one.
You know what, Sav, like one last tip. I'm seeing the information that's being put together for this weekend course. This is the fastest way to get the knowledge that you need to know if you're going to be investing in any one of these cities. There's so much information that we're providing to you guys. Yes, it's coming at a cost for the course, but really in the grand scheme of things in the world of real estate, this is like a drop in the bucket as far as the fee for the course. Compared to how quickly you're going to get up to speed on this industry.
Perfect. Just going through the comments and the questions over here. So Luke's joined the conversation, and he says, Luke Boyan, by the way, says, one of my team members is attending, looking forward to see what she learns. I'm sure it will be very helpful. Careful, Luke, once she's learned that information, she might go and do it herself and she won't be an employee anymore.
That's a scarcity mindset. Get that out of here. We're all about abundance. Let's see, together we all achieve more.
Yeah, love it. Okay, cool. So I think, guys, we got 10 minutes more. If anybody wants to ask some questions, now's the time to ask the questions. If you want to purchase the tickets, the links in the comments over there. You know, Saturday and Sunday is coming quick. It's coming quick. Hey, one question I wanted to ask you guys out there, because I know in Windsor it will be a little bit different. What is the rules now when it comes to COVID and gatherings? Can we have, what is it, up to 50 people out there, or?
Every city that I'm working, we do up to 50 people. So we are doing street tours. We are doing open houses. We are obviously protecting ourselves. Everyone has to sign in. Everyone has to confirm that they answer the questions they need to do, make sure the temperature is where it needs to be. We are wearing masks. We are wearing gloves. We're being safe. We're being protected. And if you still don't feel safe, we are 100% respecting that. And we all have iPhones. We have Zoom. We're more than happy to walk you through. And when you have a power team around you, you can buy without actually seeing the home. We have a number of investors that do. They hire myself, they hire Ken, they hire our contractors, and they go through and they do the duplex conversions without even leaving their house. I have one client who's buying buildings right now, and she doesn't even leave her home. So that's something that we're doing with our clients, because when you're with the right power team, and you're with the people that have the knowledge and information that'll set you up for success, it's in everyone's best interest to rinse and repeat. I don't want to sell you a property that you lose money on, because if you do, then you're not working with me anywhere in the future. And I don't get to do my favorite thing, which is create wealth for individuals. So just a little side note.
So 50 people.
50 people is what we're allowed. Yep.
Okay, Ken, just an idea, because on Sunday we're doing the tour. We're actually doing one of your projects. We got to go through the bylaws, whatever we discussed in theory on the Saturday night before. You know, we got to show the people on Sunday. Maybe if people are available, maybe we can actually bring them out there. Eh?
Yeah, absolutely. If there's people who want to come out to the actual site, yes, we're going to be filming on Zoom there, but it still does not compare to actually being on site, walking through the house, taking a look at the fire separation, seeing how we're doing beams and waterproofing, thin ductwork, also egress windows, all of that kind of stuff. Nothing beats seeing something in person. And, I know those who are in construction can appreciate that. So yeah, you're more than welcome to come. We will be giving the address out on the weekend course, so you know where it's going to be, and that'd be great. We would love to have people come out.
Yeah, just off the top of my mind over there. So I'm actually, for those of you who have already purchased tickets to the event, so expect a mail in the next couple of days. We're actually going to send a mail out, just drafting on the agenda, what we're going to be talking about, so you can get prepared, the links to the actual Zoom meeting, so you can get on there, just some guidelines of what we're going to be doing on Saturday and then on Sunday as well. And we'll probably give them the address for Sunday. Give us some feedback, guys. If you want to actually come out to the site and be with Ken and I while we're actually doing the live Zoom for the rest of the people, give us some feedback. Tell us if you want to come out or not, and just give us your information so we can record that, just for safety's sake and whatnot. I don't know, Ken, obviously the property's vacant, but are you the owner or is it a client?
Yeah, no, this is a property that I own. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So perfect. I give you my permission to come on out. Yeah.
I would advise whoever does want to come out, get some masks on, and we can get some hand sanitizer or whatever, just to be safe. But that'll be cool. That'll be really cool. Okay. Oh, we already got somebody saying, okay, I'm planning to be on site. Is the location in Windsor? No, Jitu, the location is not in Windsor. It's actually one of Ken's properties in Brantford, Ken?
Yes, in Brantford.
In Brantford. Okay. So the GTA area, for those of you listening and you want to come out, it's going to be in the GTA area. We'll send you the address in the email very soon. Another question that I got is, okay, course members, graduates from the first course who actually want to come back for the second course for a refresher, can they get ticket access to that? First of all, we just talked about it. Shame on you. If you've not done anything yet after the first course, what the hell are you coming back for the second course? We should charge you more for the second course than we are for the first course. No, I'm just kidding. Definitely, if you graduated from first course and you want to refresh your memory or your knowledge, and you're actually getting ready to purchase something right now, or you have a project maybe that you were just sitting on because you're looking for funds or whatever, definitely ticket prices are $50. $50 for those who have graduated from the first course. I'm going to send a mail in a couple of days for those of you who have attended. You've got to use the same email address to purchase the ticket for the second course. Otherwise, it won't work. Okay. Expect that shortly in the next couple of days, but we hope to see you guys out on Saturday as well. Cool. I think that's it, guys. We are going to...
I have a quote before we end that everyone's going to love. So one of the books that almost every real estate investor has started with, I'm not even going to say the name of it. What would you guys say? Every real estate investor has read this book.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
You know who the rich dad is?
Sure.
Keith Cunningham. If you haven't looked him up, look him up. He is the rich dad in that book. Okay. And he wrote a book called The Road Less Stupid. I was on a conference today, tomorrow, and Thursday, and it was through Keller Williams. And Keith was on there. There was a 30-minute interview with him. And he said, you want more success? We need to stop doing dumb things. Dumb things are not attending this course, buying a property, and testing your knowledge on it without having any information, any coaching. So get it from the rich dad himself. You want more success? Stop doing dumb things.
And on that note, guys, let's call it the evening. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Dylan. It's going to be a long while before I see you again. But for those of you listening, hit up these two guys on their social media or Instagram or email or whatever if you have any questions, comments for their areas. Otherwise, if you haven't bought the tickets, you should have bought your tickets by now. We'll see you guys on Saturday. Thank you so much. Have a good night.